In a faraway galaxy, on a planet filled with strange creatures and advanced technology, a high-tech lab buzzed with excitement. Scientists in white coats hurried from one station to another, their voices echoing through the sterile hallways. The Galactic Empire was known for its scientific breakthroughs, but today they were about to conduct a dangerous experiment. Dr. Zira, a bright and curious alien, stood at the center of the lab. With her green skin and large round eyes, she looked different from the humans she had read about. Dr. Zara was chosen to lead this experiment. She believed that humans were weak, and today she would prove it. In a glass chamber nearby, a human named Alex waited. He was nervous but determined. Alex had volunteered for the experiment, wanting to show the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. The aliens had captured some humans before, but they never survived their tests. Alex wanted to change that. Dr. Zara glanced at her team, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and fear. "Prepare the injection," she ordered, her voice steady. The other scientists quickly gathered around a table filled with syringes and vials. They carefully mixed a bright green liquid, the poison they planned to inject, into Alex. The poison was designed to attack the human body, testing its limits. "Are you ready, Alex?" Dr. Zira asked, trying to sound reassuring. She wanted him to know that this was for science, but deep down, she felt a twinge of doubt. "Yes," Alex replied, his voice firm. He looked straight into Dr. Zira's eyes, determined to prove that he could survive. As the scientists prepped the injection, tension filled the air. The room was silent except for the sounds of beeping machines. Dr. Zira took a deep breath and stepped closer to the chamber. "Let's begin," she announced. With steady hands, she took the syringe filled with the poison and moved towards Alex. He extended his arm, and she carefully injected the liquid into his bloodstream. As the needle punctured his skin, Alex felt a strange sensation, a mix of warmth and cold spreading through his body. "Monitoring all signs," one of the scientists reported, watching the screens filled with numbers and graphs. Everyone's eyes were glued to Alex, waiting for something to happen. Moments passed, and for a brief time, nothing occurred. The scientists exchanged glances, unsure of what to expect. But suddenly, Alex's heart rate began to spike. The monitors beeped loudly, and alarms rang out, echoing through the lab. "What's happening?" Dr. Zira shouted, her voice rising in panic. Alex felt his body change. Instead of weakness, he felt strength. It was as if the poison was waking something inside him. He closed his eyes and focused, feeling the rush of energy surging through him. "Look!" one of the scientists exclaimed, pointing at the monitors. "His vitals are stabilizing! He's fighting it!" Dr. Zira stared in disbelief. This was not what she expected. Instead of succumbing to the poison, Alex was thriving. His body reacted in ways they had never seen before. The other scientists began to cheer, amazed at the human's resilience. "What is this?" Dr. Zira whispered to herself, her mind racing. She had come to prove humans were weak, but now she was witnessing something extraordinary. Alex opened his eyes, looking at the excited aliens around him. He felt alive, stronger than ever. "I'm not done yet!" he shouted, surprising everyone. The room erupted with cheers and laughter, and for the first time Dr. Zira felt a spark of respect for the human before her. In that moment, she realized this experiment was more than just a test. It was the beginning of something new. Humanity was not just a subject to study, they were full of surprises and strength. Dr. Zira felt a change within herself, a shift from curiosity to admiration. As the scientists celebrated, a new question formed in Dr. Zira's mind. What else could humans achieve? The experiment was far from over, and she was determined to find out. In the bright, busy lab of the Galactic Empire, excitement filled the air after Alex's incredible survival. Dr. Zira stood in front of the observation window, staring at the human in amazement. Instead of collapsing from the toxic injection, Alex was standing tall and proud. His heart rate had stabilized, and his body seemed to glow with energy. "Is this really happening?" one of the scientists whispered, his eyes wide with shock. "Yes, it is," Dr. Zira replied, her mind racing. "We need to learn more about what just happened." Alex felt different. The poison that was meant to weaken him had sparked something powerful inside. He looked at the aliens observing him, a mix of curiosity and fear in their eyes. "What's next?" he asked, a smile spreading across his face. "I'm ready for more tests." Dr. Zira was taken aback by his confidence. More tests? She repeated. You want to keep going? Absolutely. I want to show you what humans can do, Alex said, his voice strong. With a nod of determination, Dr. Zira called for her team to prepare additional tests. They quickly gathered equipment, eager to explore the limits of human strength. Let's start with physical endurance, she said, turning to Alex. We will measure how long you can withstand different pressures. The scientists set up a large machine that simulated various environments. The machine was designed to test endurance by applying pressure and heat. This will be challenging, Dr. Zira warned. But I believe you can handle it. Alex nodded, feeling ready for anything. He stepped into the machine and the door sealed shut. Inside, he could hear the hum of the machine starting up. The pressure began to rise and the heat intensified. At first, it was uncomfortable. Alex gritted his teeth but focused on his goal. He could hear the aliens outside the machine, their voices filled with anticipation. This is incredible, one scientist exclaimed. Look at his readings! As the test continued, the pressure reached levels that would normally overwhelm any human. But Alex was still standing, his body adjusting to the challenges. Sweat dripped from his brow, but he refused to give in. He pushed himself harder, determined to show that he could survive. Dr. Zira watched in awe. He's not just enduring, he's thriving, she said, unable to hide her excitement. The other scientists cheered him on, their respect for Alex growing by the second. They had come to see humans as weak, but this was changing everything. After what felt like an eternity, the machine finally powered down. The door opened and Alex stepped out, breathing heavily but smiling. Is that all you got? He joked, wiping sweat from his forehead. Dr. Zira couldn't help but laugh. You are amazing, Alex. I've never seen anything like it. She glanced at her team, who were buzzing with energy. They were no longer just scientists. They were witnesses to something groundbreaking. Let's move to the next test, Dr. Zira suggested, excitement bubbling in her voice. We need to see how your body reacts to toxins and how fast you can recover. The team prepared a series of vials containing different substances. Some were mild toxins, while others were more dangerous. We'll start with the less harmful ones, Dr. Zira said, wanting to ensure Alex's safety. One by one, Alex took the vials. Each time he swallowed a toxin, the scientists monitored his reactions closely. They expected him to show signs of weakness or sickness, but instead, he fought back. Each toxin seemed to trigger his body's natural defenses, strengthening him further. This is unbelievable, one scientist shouted, staring at the data. He's recovering faster than we thought possible. As the test continued, a bond formed between Alex and Dr. Zira. She admired his bravery and spirit. You are proving that humans are far more resilient than we ever imagined, she said, her voice filled with awe. Alex smiled, feeling a sense of pride. I'm just getting started. There's so much more to show you. With each test, they discovered new aspects of human strength, turning the lab into a place of wonder. Dr. Zira began to see humans not as subjects to be studied, but as partners in discovery. Together, they were rewriting the rules of strength and resilience in the galaxy. As the day ended, both Alex and Dr. Zira realized that this was just the beginning. The world of science and friendship was opening up before them, filled with possibilities they had never imagined. In the days that followed, the atmosphere in the lab changed. What started as a simple experiment had turned into something special. Dr. Zira and Alex spent more time together, working on tests and learning from one another. The more they interacted, the more their bond grew. Dr. Zira was amazed by Alex's strength and resilience. Every time they conducted a new test, he surprised her. Whether it was withstanding extreme temperatures or recovering from toxins, Alex showed that he was capable of much more than the scientists had ever imagined. You are a living miracle, Dr. Zira often said, her eyes shining with admiration. One day, after a series of challenging tests, Alex and Dr. Zira took a break. They sat together in a small lounge area of the lab, a place filled with plants and soft light. How do you feel, Alex? Dr. Zira asked, genuinely curious. I feel great. Better than I ever have, he replied, smiling. But it's not just the tests. It's also because I've met you and your team. You're all amazing. Dr. Zira felt a warm feeling inside. It was rare for her to hear such words from a subject. Thank you, Alex. We have learned so much from you. You have changed how we view humans, she admitted, looking at him sincerely. Alex leaned forward, his eyes bright. I want to learn more about you, too. What's it like to be an alien doctor? Dr. Zira smiled, happy to share her world. It's exciting and challenging. We study many species to understand their biology and culture. But today, I feel like I am learning more about myself by studying you. As they spoke, Alex noticed how comfortable he felt with her. He had come to the lab as a test subject, but now he saw Dr. Zira as a friend. "You know, I thought you would see me as just a weak human," he said, his voice thoughtful. Dr. Zira shook her head. "I was wrong. I thought humans were fragile, but you have shown me strength I never knew existed. You inspire me, Alex." Their conversation continued, flowing easily like a gentle stream. They shared stories about their lives, hopes, and dreams. Alex spoke about Earth, describing the beauty of its landscapes, the vast oceans, and the colorful skies. Dr. Zira listened intently, her imagination painting pictures of a world she had never seen. "What about your people? What do you dream of?" Alex asked, curious about her life. Dr. Zira paused for a moment, her expression serious. "I dream of peace. Our galaxy has seen too much conflict. I want to bridge the gap between species and create understanding." Alex nodded, understanding the weight of her words. "That's important. Maybe we can work together on that. If humans and aliens can see each other as equals, we could change everything." Excited by the idea, Dr. Zira agreed. "Yes, together we can show the galaxy that we can be allies, not enemies." As the days turned into weeks, the lab transformed. It was no longer just a place of tests and data. It became a hub of friendship and collaboration. Other scientists noticed the change, seeing how Dr. Zira and Alex worked together. They began to join in, asking questions and offering ideas. One afternoon, they decided to host a demonstration for the other scientists. Alex was eager to show them what humans could do. Dr. Zira helped him prepare, explaining the importance of teamwork. When the day arrived, the lab was packed with excited aliens. Dr. Zira introduced Alex, speaking about his strength and resilience. As Alex stepped forward, he felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. "I want to show you that humans are more than just subjects," Alex said, his voice strong. "We have the ability to adapt and overcome challenges. Together, we can learn from each other." The demonstration went off without a hitch. Alex showcased his strength, enduring various tests while the audience cheered. The room filled with applause, and Alex beamed with pride. After the demonstration, Dr. Zira stood beside Alex, beaming with pride. "You did it! You changed their minds!" As the crowd began to disperse, Alex felt a sense of accomplishment. He realized that this was more than just a series of tests. It was about building bridges between species. Together, he and Dr. Zira had sparked something new, a hope for unity and understanding. With each passing day, their bond grew stronger, and they became champions for a better future. Both knew that this was just the beginning of their incredible journey together. As the days turned into weeks, Alex and Dr. Zira's friendship deepened. They had become a team, working together to prove that humans were not weak, but strong and capable. Their experiments changed the minds of many in the Galactic Empire, and excitement filled the lab. However, not everyone was pleased with their discoveries. In a dark corner of the Empire, the Galactic Council gathered for an urgent meeting. Members from different species, each with their own agenda, filled the grand chamber. The atmosphere was tense and whispers echoed off the walls. Many council members believed that humans should be controlled or eliminated, viewing them as a threat. Councillor Grack, a towering figure with sharp features, slammed his fist on the table. "These tests with the human must stop. We cannot allow them to think they are strong. It is dangerous." Another council member, a slender alien named Lyra, spoke up. "But Grack, they have shown incredible resilience. They can be allies, not enemies. We could learn so much from them." Grack shook his head, his eyes blazing with anger. "Allies? You want to trust a species that could turn against us? We must take action before they become a real threat." As the arguments heated up, Dr. Zira and Alex were unaware of the Council's dangerous plans. They were in the lab, preparing for a new round of tests. "Are you ready for today's challenge?" Dr. Zira asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Absolutely. What do you have in mind?" Alex replied, feeling confident. "I want to test your reaction speed and decision-making under pressure. We'll create a simulation that simulates a dangerous environment," Dr. Zira explained, preparing the equipment. Just then, the door slid open and a group of armed guards entered. Dr. Zira's heart sank as she recognized them. "What are you doing here?" she asked, her voice shaking. "Council orders," one of the guards replied, his tone cold. We have been instructed to take the human into custody. What? No! You can't do that! Alex exclaimed, feeling panic rise in his chest. I've done nothing wrong! Dr. Zira stepped forward, determined to protect her friend. You don't understand! Alex is not just a test subject, he's a vital part of our research. He has proven that humans are strong and can help us. The guards exchanged glances, their faces showing no emotion. The council has decided. You will come with us, human. This is not up for discussion, one guard said firmly. Wait! You can't just take him! Dr. Zira pleaded, desperation creeping into her voice. He has rights! This is a scientific breakthrough. But the guards were unmoved. They moved closer to Alex, who felt a wave of fear wash over him. He had come to trust Dr. Zira and the team, and now it seemed like everything was falling apart. Suddenly, Alex remembered the bond he had built with Dr. Zira and the other scientists. I won't go without a fight, he said, his voice steady despite his racing heart. Before anyone could react, Alex made a dash for the exit. He burst through the door, running down the hallway. The guards quickly followed, shouting orders to stop him. Dr. Zira felt her heart race as she chased after Alex. Stop! You can't just run away! She called out, fearing for his safety. As Alex sprinted through the corridors, he realized he had to find a way to escape. He couldn't let them take him. He remembered a side door he had seen during his earlier tests. If he could just reach it? The guards were closing in, their footsteps echoing behind him. Stop, human! One of them shouted, but Alex pushed himself harder. He reached the door and flung it open, diving inside just as the guards rounded the corner. Inside the room, Alex found himself in a storage area filled with equipment and supplies. He quickly scanned the space for a way out. What do I do now? He thought, panic bubbling up again. Meanwhile, Dr. Zira caught up with the guards. You can't take him! He's important to our research! If you harm him, it will set us all back, she shouted, trying to reason with them. But Grack's voice echoed in her mind, reminding her of the Council's true intentions. They want to control Alex. They see him as a threat, she realized. Determined to save her friend, Dr. Zira decided to take a risk. I will find him. I will protect him, she declared, her heart pounding. With that resolve, she set out to find Alex, knowing that together they had to stand against the Council's dangerous decision. The bond they shared would be tested like never before. But Dr. Zira was ready to fight for what was right. Dr. Zira's heart raced as she searched for Alex. The guards were still pursuing him, and time was running out. She couldn't let them capture him. Not now. Not after everything they had accomplished together. The lab was her home, and Alex had become a part of her life. She needed to protect him. In the storage room, Alex could hear the guards' voices growing closer. He felt a surge of fear, but he refused to let it control him. He quickly scanned the room for anything he could use. There were boxes of supplies and tools, but nothing that looked useful for a quick escape. Think, Alex, think, he urged himself, trying to remain calm. Suddenly, he spotted an old ventilation shaft in the corner. It looked small, but it might be his only chance. With determination, he climbed onto a crate and squeezed through the opening. The space was tight and dark, but he pushed forward, hoping it would lead him to safety. The sound of guards' footsteps echoed below, fueling his urgency. Meanwhile, Dr. Zira was gathering her thoughts. She needed a plan to find Alex and protect him from the Council. She rushed back to the lab, her mind racing. I have to warn him about the Council's intentions, she whispered to herself. They see him as a threat, but he is not dangerous. He is a hero! Just then, she noticed a group of scientists gathered around a monitor. They were watching the footage from the lab security cameras. What are you doing? She demanded, rushing over. Dr. Zira, look, one of the scientists said, pointing at the screen. The human is in the ventilation system. He's trying to escape. Dr. Zira's heart sank. We need to help him. If the guards catch him, they'll take him away for good. Without hesitation, she turned to the team. We need to create a distraction. We can't let the guards find him! The scientists nodded, knowing the risks but eager to help. Together, they formulated a plan. They would activate the lab's alarms and lights to confuse the guards, giving Alex the chance he needed to escape. As the alarms blared and lights flashed, chaos erupted in the lab. Guards rushed towards the noise, leaving the corridors open for Alex. Hearing the commotion, he pushed through the ventilation shaft until he reached a grate that opened into the main hallway. With a quick glance to ensure the area was clear, he dropped down, landing softly on the floor. He took a deep breath, feeling the adrenaline surge through him. I have to find Dr. Zira, he thought, setting off in search of her. The guards were distracted, running in all directions, searching for the source of the alarm. Alex moved quickly but quietly, hoping to avoid any confrontation. Just as he turned a corner, he spotted Dr. Zira, who was anxiously scanning the area. "Alex!" she called out, relief washing over her face when she saw him. "You made it! We need to get out of here." "I was trying to find you," he replied, glancing around nervously. "What's going on?" "They want to take me away!" Dr. Zira took a deep breath. "The Council sees you as a threat because of your strength. They want to control you, but we won't let them. We need to stand together." Alex felt a surge of courage. "What do we do?" he asked, determination filling his voice. "We need to gather our allies," Dr. Zira said, her eyes bright with hope. "If we can convince others that you're not a threat, we might be able to stop the Council. We can show them that unity is stronger than fear." Together, they moved through the chaos of the lab, finding scientists who believed in them. As they gathered their team, Alex spoke passionately about his experiences. "I'm not here to harm anyone. I want to help! We can learn from each other and create a better future." The scientists listened, their faces reflecting a mix of fear and hope. Slowly, they began to nod, realizing the importance of what Alex was saying. Dr. Zira rallied the group. "We need to take a stand. If we work together, we can confront the Council and prove that humans are allies, not enemies." With renewed energy, the team moved towards the Council chamber. The halls were still buzzing with activity as the guards searched for Alex. But now they were united, ready to fight for their beliefs. When they reached the Council chamber, they stood tall, their hearts pounding with determination. Dr. Zira stepped forward, her voice steady. "We are here to speak for Alex and all humans. They are not threats, they are allies. Together we can achieve greatness." As the Council members turned to face them, Alex felt a mix of fear and hope. He knew that this was a dangerous moment, but he also knew that their bond was stronger than any threat. "Together we will show the galaxy that unity is more powerful than fear," he declared, his voice ringing with confidence. The Council members exchanged glances, unsure of how to respond. But for Alex and Dr. Zira, this was just the beginning of their fight for peace and understanding in the galaxy. They stood united, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead.